Good morning, friends. Today's my topic is questionnaire. So far, whatever subjects or topics you have studied, you are habitual to answer the questions. And this is the topic in which you have to form questions. That means, in response to questions, you have to form your own questions. So instead of replying, you have to form questions in response to questions. Here, the skill or capability of forming question is more important. Question extracts answers. Questions are originator of knowledge. The more you ask questions, the more you get answers. The perfect question you form or frame, the perfect answers you get. The formation of question, skillful, efficient, perfect questions is originating answers, real perfect answers. Questionnaire means it's a list of questions which are logical to carry out surveys. Surveys of specific issues like educational, commercial, or socio-economical. Many companies, social organizations, or government frame questions in order to survey. And survey is essential to gather or read the mind of the people who respond. So respondent's mind has been read with the help of questionnaires. So questionnaire is list of questions which are logical to carry out. Now, today's our topic is how to frame these questions, how to frame a perfect list of questionnaires which elicit the real responses. Now, we focus on three kinds of questionnaires. One is academic or educational. Second is commercial, which is needed by companies, corporate sector companies. Academic questionnaires are needed by the people who want to study the field of academy, educational field. And third one is very, very important. Last but not the least, we can call it SocioEconomical questionnaires. In SocioEconomical questionnaires, questions are framed to find out the real socio-economical situation of the people, particular strata of society. What economical conditions they live in, what kind of social situation they are in, that has been found with the help of socio-economical questionnaires. In questionnaires, usually they are related to the educational questionnaires are related to the educational issues like students' learning habits, view regarding education or examination system, TV or movie watching habits, mobile, computer, internet using habits. Now, when a questionnaire is framed or formed regarding educational issues, it is supposed to read, it is supposed to find out what is going on in the mind setup of the students, what they think about the educational issues, educational system, examination system, how they study, what kind of habits they have, whether they use mobile phone or not, how much they use, whether it is useful or not, whether it is harmful or not, how much internet they use, how much time, how many hours they devote to use internet, social sites, whether these sites are harmful or useful. I mean, these kind of questions find out how many people, how many students indulge in these activities. And it also gives a picture what these habits generate, whether they are harmful or they are useful. Now, educational questionnaires gives us light, throws light on these issues. Now here one question arises. If you don't have logical or perfect sequence of questions, you may not have perfect answers too. So it's a great skill to frame questions from Plato and onwards. Answers can be got with the help of questions. Today, in modern age, people don't have enough time. They have very limited time. So the question list, that is the form of questionnaire, or the questionnaire should be set up in such a way that within the limit of 20 questions, probably there is no limitations officially, but in minimum questions you can get maximum answers. Answers means information. Answers means responses of the respondent's mind. Now, commercial questions form to carry out survey on large scale to know likings and dislikings of people. Companies use to find out which particular features attract the consumers. This is very important kind of survey which has to be done with the help of commercial questionnaires. Now the surveys are made by the multinational companies, huge companies on large scale. Some newspaper, suppose they want to launch some new product, suppose they want to launch. Now they have to set up a huge factory. They have to employ a large number of employees. So crores of rupees they use. And before they invest crores of rupees, they would like to know whether the customers would respond to their product or not. So before they start or before they launch a particular product in the market, they would like to find out what kind of product people like, what kind of things so far they have been using, and how if they produce in the market a new thing, they will change their liking. That means the thing they so far use, instead of that, they will use new one. So they launch on large scale survey with the help of questionnaires. So here also once again, they should know what kind of questions should be asked so that they read the mind of the customers so that they can introduce a new kind of product in the market and be successful. So it is helpful to the multinationals, huge companies to introduce new products in the market. So questionnaire here, even they employ skillful, efficient kind of questionnaire formers who can form good questionnaire so that they can survey in the market and they can introduce successfully their product in the market. So here the commercial survey can be done with the help of commercial questionnaires. And the last but not the least, the third one, socioeconomical questionnaires. Now socioeconomical questionnaires, government or non-governmental organization, that is we call NGOs, carry out surveys to chalk out new plans of development. The information one wants to seek should be quite clear in the mind of formulating the questionnaire. Here again, government wants to launch new plans. Suppose they have some idea to start a new scheme for the upliftment of a particular strata of society, like farmers, landless farmers. Now, first of all, they have to know what is the real financial situation of this particular strata of society. Suppose working women. Now they want to improve the status or condition of working women financially. So they have to implement certain policies. They have to chalk out certain plans. And in order to chalk out a perfect plan, they have to know what real ground today they are on. So they have to know on which ground a particular class, working women, auto rickshaw driver, bus driver, landless farmers, or teacher or professors are living today. Financially, what is their situation? Socially, what is their situation? So they have to find out first of all. In order to find out these realities, they have to frame a perfect questionnaire and make on large scale survey. Then the survey gives them the data, information. And this is input. This is very vital kind of input. With the help of this vital kind of input, they gather knowledge, they got information, and by analyzing the information, they know the real situation, financial, social. Then the scholars study the data and chalk out a plan, chalk out a scheme, and then the whole constitutional process. But here, vital thing is, very live thing is data collection. And data collection is done with the help of questionnaires. And questionnaires can be framed by the skillful, studious people, scholars, who knows how to frame question, and question which generate real information, which gathers real information, which extracts, which elicit real information. Now, this information can be proved very important, very vital for framing new policies, for introducing new plans and schemes on large scale for the whole nation, for a particular state, for a particular class of society, for a particular strata of society. NGOs also do this. When NGOs start some agitation, when NGOs start working for a particular class, suppose our tribal people. Now, if they want to work for the upliftment of the tribal people, first of all, they study their socio-economical condition. And in order to find out the real socio-economical condition, they frame a perfect questionnaire. And questionnaire has been given to many respondents. Respondents gives them the real answers. Answers becomes input, and that input, that responses helps the surveyor to find out real socio-economical condition of a particular tribe, and then they analyze the collected data or information, and this data and information gives them a chance to analyze, and then finalize what kind of schemes can be useful, beneficial to that particular tribe. Then they put forward their data, their analysis, and their recommendation to the government, and government considers the data analysis. Now, formation of questions. How questions can be formed or framed? Now, this is language skill. When we want to frame a questionnaire, first of all, we should develop skill of formation of questions. First of all, WH questions, which starts with the words like what, why, when, where, how, whom. These are the WH questions. For example, how much do you earn every month? Now the question begins with how. What are your monthly expenses? Again, the question begins with what. See, the questions are very simple. They don't use very scholarly words, bombastic words. They use simple words because the question should go to the common people and common people should respond. They can only respond when they can understand the question. So the questioner's questions should be consisted of simple words. Here, how much do you earn every month? So simple a question. What are your monthly expenses? So simple a question. These kind of questions, which begins with WH question words, provide informations. And we should know. When we format or when we frame a question, we should know how to start WH question. In this kind of question sentence, interrogative sentence, WH word comes in the beginning of the sentence and then the following part of the sentence, which kind of information you require. Second kind of questionnaires, in which questions begin with helping verbs like, do you use internet per day? In this sentence, the helping verb do is used. In second question, are you interested in internet? The question begins with are, helping verb. Do you feel excess use of cell phone harms the study? These are yes or no questions. In yes or no questions, because the first question, do you use internet, per day? Answer will be either yes or no. Second question, are you interested in internet? Answer will be either yes or no. Third question, do you feel excess use of cell phone harms the study? The answer will be either yes or no. Now this kind of questions are called yes-no question because the response cannot be third one. There can be only two responses, either yes or no. So here, the questions which begin with the help of helping verb may be the respondent will respond in two ways only, either as yes or no. So after formation of the question, in bracket, the framer of the questionnaire should give the option yes and no. So the respondent only tick there his or her option. He or she may tick mark on yes or no. So there is no other option, there is no other choice for the respondent. So the respondent may choose either yes or no. So these are called yes-no questions. In first WH kind of questions, there can be optional answers. There can be 4 or 5 or more options. Out of those 4 or 5 options, the respondent had to reply. There can be optional questions which help in collection of fine responses. Where do you study? Now, see the question, where do you study? There can be many options. There is not 1 or 2 or 3. It can be many. But the person who frames the question should keep in mind in what kind of information he or she wants to extract from the respondent, the options should be given clear-cutly. Here the options are given at home, in library, at friend's home, in the hostel. So the options, clear-cut option. The fifth option can be given. Any other, specify. Suppose instead of home, library, friend's house or hostel, suppose the respondent have a fifth option and we don't enlarge or we don't want to increase the list. So we can put fifth option. Any other, give or specify that one. So we can, by using this device or tactics, we can draw a limit to the responses, so that it also helps us to analyze the data. Now, clarity about the formation of question. Now, what is clarity about the formation of question? On which topic or on which subject the framer or the formulator of questionnaire wants to elicit responses. So the type of questioners, appearance of the questionnaire, the clarity should be in the mind of person who wants to frame or form the questionnaire. Now, another technical kind of division of questionnaires. The questionnaire can be divided either formally, in personal and issue specific or content specific. Now, there is no essential requirement that questionnaire can be divided in A and B type, in 1 and 2 type. But in the beginning, it should be very clear in the mind of who frames the questionnaire that personal data should be there. Because who is the respondent? What is his name? His or her name? What is the age of the respondent? Where does he live? He or she lives. What is the profession of the respondent? Where does he or she study? I mean, these are personal information. So in A group, A part, in the first part of the questionnaire, there should be questions regarding personal items, personal informations, and that also depends, that is also related with the second part of the questionnaire. Suppose the questionnaire has to be set up about the educational issues. Though naturally, the questionnaire will go to the students or teachers. So the first part that I would like to call personal part may be consisted of name, age, academic institute, that is the name of the academic institute, city, caste, religion. These are not essential but can be mentioned. Caste, religion, the standard in which the respondent study, that is standard or the year, first year, second year, third year of college. Then suppose the questionnaire is about the health aspect of the respondent. Then height, weight, these aspects also can be included. Then the respondent's father or occupation or profession of parents, monthly or annual income of the parents. These can be included in the personal part of questionnaire. So, personal part can be, by and large, almost same in all kind of questionnaires, whether it is academic questionnaire, that is educational, whether it is commercial questionnaire, or whether it is SocioEconomical questionnaire. In all these three kinds of questionnaires, the first part or A part, which is personal, remain almost same. In one or two responses, there may be changes. In academic, name of the institution has to be mentioned, while in SocioEconomical, name of the office or workplace can be mentioned. Age, date of birth, birthplace, these are common questions. Now, one more very important issue for personal part. There should not be long questions like this. I mean, it's not long question, but like this. What is your name? Instead of what is your name, simply, number one, name. It should be like in any formal form. Address. Instead of what is your address? No, there is no need of it. Address or residential address. Address of workplace or office. Simple. The more simple, better it is. There is no need to frame the whole sentence here. You have to frame questionnaire A part in such a way that it provides the full information. So here in first part, it should be minimized in wording. Sentences not required, full sentences are not required, only words, name, address, date of birth or age, place of birth. These kind of questions, one word questions will be enough in part 1. And the part 2, which is consisted of specific to the topic, specific to the content, and real questionnaire begins here. Because the real data collection can be done with the help of the second part. First part is almost common for my dear friends, students. First part, when you prepare, you can prepare a list of 10 questions, simple, name, address, date of birth, etc. And that will be applied to all the questionnaires. When you frame or form a questionnaire, that will be common to all with a simple one or two modification or changes that can be useful to all. But the second part, which is data specific, which is subject or topic specific, which differ in education, in commercial, and socioeconomical. Suppose we take up one specific, one more important thing. When we want to collect information from a person, we should assure the person that the whatever details in this part, personal details are sought, and the respondent should be assured that details gathered will be treated as confidential and be used only for study purpose. This is very important assurance, and this has to be given to all the respondent, because the respondent is unknown to the person who goes for the survey. Why should the respondent provide you the information? So the first of all, in the beginning, at the heading, it should be mentioned quite clearly that, my dear friend, here we are to collect information. We want to do a survey. We are carrying out a survey, and please cooperate. Please provide us information. We assure you that whatever information you provide to us will be kept confidential. It will be treated as confidential matter. It will not be disclosed to anyone. It may not harm you in any way. So he or she should be assured that whatever data has been collected will not be used or misused. It will be used as a study material. So that assurance has to be given in the very beginning, in the first part of our questionnaire, even before the beginning of the personal details. So the respondent will feel free and will give whatever information he or she provides will be treated as confidential. This is very important thing, and it should be mentioned in the beginning of the questionnaire. Now, all the questions should be arranged in logical sequence. Any question should not follow anyone, and there should be interlinked. 3 points, very important points. Now, what is this logical sequence? Suppose, I'll give you an example. I say, even in personal part also, shall we start a questionnaire with point number 1, weight, point number 2, address, point number 3, name. Can we arrange question in this way? No. Then what will be the sequence? What will be the logical sequence? First should come naturally. You will say, yes sir, first will be name. Then second will be address. And third will be academic institution's name or name of the academic institution. Residential address. And these are the logical sequences. We can't break logical sequence. Otherwise, the respondent will feel embarrassed. What kind of question is this? In issue specific, suppose even in personal, what is annual income or monthly income? Second question, what is your expenses? Now, can we put these questions in a reverse way? What is your monthly expenses? And then what is your monthly income? Naturally, you will say income comes first and expense comes after that. So the logical order should be maintained. If you maintain the logical order, your questionnaire will be perfect questionnaire. Same will be about any question. Suppose a rickshaw driver's question, a socioeconomical condition of a rickshaw driver. One question is there. What kind of response you get from your passengers? There are 4 or 5 responses. Cooperative, non-cooperative, insulting, etc. Suppose the rickshaw driver's response is cooperative. Your next question can be, how passengers cooperate with you? Now you can't reverse both the questions. You can't put the later questions first and first question later. You can't. So there should be perfect logical sequence. Which question should come first, which should come at second position, after that and onwards. There should be interlink. There should not be arbitrary questions. You can't ask any question in any questionnaire. No. That will give a very wrong kind of impression. There should be clear-cut interlink. At one question should be followed by another question. Any question cannot follow any other question. Suppose SocioEconomical survey, SocioEconomical questionnaire regarding working women. Now the one question is, do you find cooperation in your office? Now there are options, yes, no. If response is yeah, there can be both the responses. A particular woman would say yes, I find cooperation. Second would say no, in my office there is no cooperation. So one would go for yes and one would go for no. So responses may differ. So the next question should be, if yes, what kind of cooperation you get from your male colleagues? If no, next question, what kind of non-cooperation you get from your male colleagues? Now there should be clear-cut interlink between the questions. There are many questions, and question should ensure another question, and next question should give way to the further questions. That should be very clear. Now, very important thing, there is a certain technical problem. So on a screen, colors are not very clear. So I read out, minimum question should extract maximum information. Now, I myself think then a very perfect kind of questionnaire should not consist of 10 personal questions and 20 subject or topic specific questions. There should not be more than 30 questions. Personal questions are simple, given easily responses. Now the subject or topic specific questions should not extend 20 questions. So within the limit of 20 questions, the questionnaire should be framed in such a way that whatever information you want to get should be elicited, and questions should be formed in such a way that information can be analyzed dynamically. Now this is very important point. If you frame questionnaires in such a way that questions are arbitrary, any questions follow any other question, then you will get information scattered. You don't have logical information, you don't have logical input, and if you don't have logical input, how can you analyze the data dynamically? Only dynamic questions, interlinked questions, perfect or logical questions may help you to frame or form a good questionnaire. So you may have a good questionnaire with the help of good interlinked ideas. The person who frames questionnaire should have quite clear idea about what kind of information he or she wants to elicit. He or she wants to extract from the mind of the respondent, be they students, merchants, rickshaw drivers, women, farmers, teachers, whoever they are. What kind of information the survey who's doing this survey, who's carrying the survey, wants to get. It should be very clear in the mind of framer of or formulator of the questionnaire. Once the clarity is in the mind of questionnaire setter, questions will come. But then whatever question comes to the mind of the questionnaire framer, all questionnaires should not be put. Otherwise, it will be a long list of questions. There, once again, editing should be there. Editing, then ordering. One has to scrutinize the questions. After scrutinizing question, logical link can be acquired. Once the logical link is there will be good order of the questions. And once the good order of the questions are there, then you may have a good questionnaire. And once the good questionnaire is set up, good responses or perfect responses, perfect answers can be extracted from the mind of the respondent. These are essential points for setting up a questionnaire. Now, I would like to give a specific, very quick glimpses of a particular kind of questionnaire. Now, here, suppose a questionnaire of socioeconomical condition of auto rickshaw driver, what kind of questions can be asked? I will give very hurriedly the list of the questions. Now, I don't want to give the personal part of the questionnaire. I would like to give you the second part, which is subject or topic specific. The list may be like this. First question: do you drive your own auto rickshaw or hired? Now here two options are given. One is own, hired. So specific answers are given. So that meaning here is the respondent should limit himself to these two responses only. That means the purpose of the questionnaire framer is to find out how many rickshaw drivers are driving their rickshaws their own and how many hired. So they may know information about the rickshaw drivers who own their own rickshaw and who drive their rickshaw which is hired. The second question, if own, see here the logicality, here the sequence. If owned, how did you buy it? The clear-cut link, interlink. First question is linked with the second question. If owned, how did you buy it? Now here options are given. 4 options. One is cash. Second is with the help of bank loan. Third is by borrowing money from relatives. And fourth one is by borrowing money from friends. Clear-cut options are given. So here, this second question, particularly second question, provides 4 options. And the respondent, rickshaw driver, should select out of these 4. Cash with the help of bank loan, by borrowing money from the relatives, or borrowing money from the friends. We may increase the list by adding 5th and 6th also. We may give one open option. An open option can be like this. Any other, specify. The next question's third. How many hours do you drive rickshaw in a day? Then the time has to be given. 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, more than 12 hours. Now we wonder, more than 12 hours? what kind of information you want to gather? It's quite clear. Many auto rickshaw drivers work more than 12 hours in a day. Some work partially. Some work, some do services somewhere in some office, etc. And remaining time they drive the rickshaw. The next question related to you. Do you take weekly holiday? See, how many hours do you drive rickshaw? Then it is related with the holidays. So there is logical sequence. What do you do for entertainment? Suppose the driver says, yes, I take holidays, or I don't take. Then the next question, what do you do for your entertainment? Answers can be watch TV, movie, outing, cultural programs. Now, these are the options. And these are the example of how one question is ensued another one. How interlink, how logical sequence can be framed, can be kept in mind when we frame a question. So, there should be perfect interlink between one question and another. If you don't have that, you may have a loose kind of questionnaire. And if you have a loose kind of questionnaire, you cannot frame a perfect questionnaire. You may not get perfect intended information. You do not have data which you require. And here, I would like to suggest, it's not that the questionnaire setter requires willing data or intended data. He or she should keep in mind that he gives just a framework, and the real information should come from the respondent if the genuine information collection is supposed to be done. I think all the aspects of a questionnaires are covered. There can be 3 kinds of questionnaire, which basically in our universities, in our colleges, we have to study. These are by and large main points which should be kept in our mind when we frame a questionnaire. Now, if any question from anyone, from any respondent have, otherwise I continue. The next question of socioeconomical condition of a rickshaw driver can be, which of the following items do you possess? Now here, the items the respondent of auto rickshaw driver possess suggests socio as well as financial condition. I say socio as well as financial condition because color TV, refrigerator, two-wheeler, landline phone, mobile phone. Now, these things, mobile phone has become so common nowadays that anyone have cell phone, mobile phone, but fridge, color TV. These things are also nowadays become very common to even the poor people. So our rickshaw driver may give response to these, and we may have a perfect idea what is financial condition of rickshaw driver, to which category the person belongs. 7th question. If bought it on loan, what is the amount of monthly installment? This question can be after how you have bought the rickshaw. Here it is slightly not logical. I purposely put it here because 7th should come, I think, after 3rd, which suggests or shows how did you buy it. If you bought it on loan, what is the amount of monthly installments? Now here one specific purpose. Sometimes it happens that logically there can be 2 questions afterwards. One have to follow one line first, then the second one branch first, then the second one. Now after first branch, the second branch has been taken, answers or options are given, rupees installment amount, rupees 1000, 2000, 3000, more than 3000. Now here again specific options are given: 1, 2, 3, more than 3. Next question: what is the tenure of the loan? Very important financial question. Tenure, for how long the loan will continue? 3 years, 4 years, more than 4 years. Sometimes we have to curtail the number of answers or responses, because unlimited answers cannot be given. There should be only fixed answers: 3, 4, 5. Here I purposely, intently, 3 options have given. It can be increased to 4. Now, very important financial, that is economic question: what is your daily income? Again, options: rupees 100, 200, 300, more than 301, then monthly savings, and so on. This kind of questions can be, these are just examples. I have given you example of the one auto rickshaw driver socioeconomical conditions. Same can be educational, commercial. Thank you, friends. I hope all the essential points, all the essential aspects I have covered in my this lecture, and you might have learnt certain things. Thank you very much.